But let's bring in our business reporter, Jonathan Josephs, who I think, Jonathan, you've been managing to speak to some of the companies involved, and we are waiting for some fresh statements from them. But what have they told you?
Yes, Lucy, details are still very much emerging about exactly what's happened in the North Sea. But I have spoken to the CEO of one of the companies that is the joint owner of the Stena Immaculate, and he told me that all their crew were safe and accounted for. That's more than 20 people, he told me. But what we also know is that the Stena Immaculate is jointly owned between the Swedish shipping company Stena Bulk and Crowley, which is Crowley, which is a shipping company based in Florida. And we've just had a statement from them. I've just received this, and it's given a bit more detail about exactly what was going on. We know now that the Stena Immaculate was at anchor when this happened, and in the shipping industry, this is referred to as an elision. And the cargo ship has hit it whilst it was at anchor, and that has caused a rupture in the Stena Immaculate, and the Stena Immaculate is an oil tanker. It was carrying jet fuel, which I understand was jet fuel owned by the US military. So the assumption that at the moment would be that this was to supply US Air Force bases in the United Kingdom, of which there are a few, and that this tanker, the Stena Immaculate, is one of 10 tankers that are part of a US government program called that is designed to make sure that the US military has access to fuels that it might need, sometimes at short notice. And so the way this works is that the US government pay a stipend to these companies to provide these ships when they need them so they can move fuel to where it's needed. And I understand that this fuel was indeed owned by the US government, and that is sort of some of the latest detail. If I just look at this statement, we also understand that that there is some of this jet fuel pouring into the North Sea, but I've been told that there aren't serious concerns about the environmental damage, of which there will be some, but given that it is a limited amount of fuel, obviously a tanker can only contain so much fuel, that it may well be that they can contain it relatively quickly and easily.
Jonathan, what do we know about the Solong?
The Solong, I haven't yet had too much more detail on this. I understand it's a Portuguese registered cargo vessel, and it seems to have been going from Grimsby in Scotland to the port of Rotterdam in the Netherlands, which is one of the busiest ports in Europe for cargo. Cargo comes in to and from all over the world. Lots of stuff gets moved in from Asia, perhaps from Chinese factories, gets sent to Rotterdam, from where it is then distributed around the country. Around Europe. So it's quite a busy port. But in terms of exactly what the Solong was doing, what it held on board at the time, those details I certainly don't have yet.
Jonathan, thanks so much for joining us with that update. Good that you're in contact with those companies, and we will be back to you when you learn anything more.